following the Fitzinger training plan for my next marathon, and that calls for a half marathon race about 6 weeks out from my goal marathon. So I was looking at the calendar and I was kind of back and forth about whether I was actually going to run a half marathon because it's January. So I was thinking about maybe doing a time trial instead, but actually looked at the forecast. It's looking pretty good for next weekend. So I signed up today for a race called the Snowman Half Marathon. It's part of this Winter Warrior series of races this winter. It's in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, so it's about an hour drive from here in Lansing. So basically just decided that today. So I'm kind of excited about it actually because I haven't had a real race since basically Thanksgiving. It's been going on 2 months. I had the Joyful 5K at Christmas, but that was pretty much disaster. Had to trot it basically because of the ice. So I'm kind of looking forward to this now and hoping the weather, it looks like it's going to be in the 40s, a high of the 40s. The race is at like 9 o'clock, so it'll probably be a little cooler than that. It won't, get that warm by that time, but should be decent. Should be hopefully not snowy, hopefully not icy. Hopefully that's going to melt off and give us some good conditions. So I'm really hoping that works out and I can get a really good time trial in there because needless to say, 6 weeks out from a marathon, running a half marathon is going to give me a very good read on where I'm at if my goal pace is reasonable or not. So really hoping that works out. It's going to be frustrating if there's 20-mile-an-hour winds or something like that basically invalidates the whole thing. That was what I was kind of guarding against, why I was thinking about doing a time trial, but I think I'm going to roll the dice and go for the race. So that'll be interesting. And then actually every two weeks after that, so 4 weeks out from my marathon and 2 weeks out from my marathon, my training plan also calls for races. So I also signed up for a 10K in late February, and then I'm looking at either doing a 5K or there's actually an 8K I found, which would be 4 weeks out from my goal marathon. So looking at possibly running those two races as well to get some of that, high-end speed, get a good read on where my speed is at, and be able to translate that over to see if my goal marathon pace is realistic or not. So yeah, it's getting really close now. I booked my trip for Myrtle Beach, so it's 7 weeks out from this weekend, which is coming up really fast now. It felt like it was way out in the future for a long time, but now I really feel like it's right around the corner. So I'm really excited for that. I'm kind of also nervous for that because it just came up. It seems like it really came up fast all of a sudden on me. So I'm hoping I'm where I want to be, hoping I really get a good performance. I'm a little bit more confident this time around because my training plan, like tomorrow I'm doing a 24-mile run, for example, and I've already done a 22-mile run, so a little bit more really long runs in there to give me a little more confidence about that, hitting that distance. So I'm hoping that works out. Over the summer I had a shortened training plan. My longest was 20 miles, and I felt like that may have been one of the factors in why I kind of hit the wall at Marquette. So I'm hoping that this is going to pay off, and if nothing else, I'll learn, it'll be one more step along the way. I should definitely PR. If I don't PR, barring injury or barring some crazy weather or something like that, I'm going to feel pretty bad. So I should easily be able to PR, but I'm going for that BQ. So my plan is to go all out, and then I'm going to have another 6 months until my next marathon right at Labor Day, right before Boston qualifying time. So if I don't qualify in Myrtle Beach, I'll have 6 months basically to train and build up to that and give it a really hard effort. I was kind of back and forth between whether I wanted to do multiple marathon attempts, do another one maybe in May or June, and then squeeze in the Marquette Marathon at Labor Day. But I just felt like maybe I'm better off just giving myself enough, a realistic amount of time instead of trying to do race after race after race like I did this past year. Let myself recover and give myself time to improve, doing a real training session. So that's my plan. I'm really crossing my fingers. I really want to hit this BQ. It's like the goal of my lifetime. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm like I said, looking forward to this half marathon next weekend. I'm hoping that gives me a really good, accurate prediction for how well I can do in the full marathon. So I'm hoping to run like a 1:30 or under, to be on pace for about a 3:10 marathon or under. So we'll see how that plays out. I won't be doing a full taper, so that weighs, obviously I won't be totally fresh, but if I can run like say under 1:30 on not completely fresh legs, that's going to give me a lot of confidence. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. I'm going to shoot for that goal pace, running like 650 miles, 651, somewhere in there. See how that feels, and if it turns out that I feel good, can go up from there. But that's basically what my plan is. We'll see how it goes. I've never run this course before, so don't really know what to expect. I looked at the course map a little bit. One of the downsides is it's got at least two 180-degree turns. So you going through Mount Pleasant, you go to one way down a road, and then you do a 180-degree turn, go all the way the other way down the road, do another 180-degree turn, then do a 90-degree turn to head back home. So lots of, not the ideal course necessarily, when you'd have to do that start and stop kind of a thing, but over the distance of a half marathon, that isn't such a big deal. So we'll see how it goes. It's an out and back course, so no matter how the wind goes, it should be at our backs for some of it and in our face for some of it, so it should even out as long as it's not ridiculous. And the weather, like I said, was looking good. So we'll see how that goes. I'll report back on how I did. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with more content, and I'll talk to you later.